Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Dependency management in code projects is a huge pain. Even relatively simple projects often contain lots of different dependencies and lots of different versions of the various packages situated in the project. Those packages are updated constantly, not only to offer the new features, but also to address the vulnerabilities that inevitably occur in those packages over time. Even if you're only looking after one or two projects, the overhead of this can quickly become significant. If you've got many projects, the problem is even worse. Fortunately, there's a great solution to this: automated vulnerability patching using Mend Renovate bot. So in this video, we're going to explore what renovatebot is and how it works. We'll install it in a GitHub project, try out some of the huge range of configuration options that it offers, and raise some PRs to get those vulnerabilities auto-updated. Alright, let's get right to it. So renovatebot works by installing a simple GitHub application into your GitHub repository. You can also install it directly from the command line interface, or even if you're running it self-hosted, but for this video we're just going to use the GitHub application. So once the app is installed and configured, what it will do is it will regularly scan through your GitHub repository and look at your dependencies. So it will look at the versions of all the different packages you're using. If there's a new version, it will raise a pull request to update the package. Now, if you're feeling really brave, you can even configure this pull request to automatically be merged. This would give you completely autonomous vulnerability management. But to be completely safe, you probably want to check the pull request before you merge it, just in case some version's being updated to something that you weren't really expecting. But still, it's pretty cool that you can do that. Okay, let's see it in action. We're going to start by installing renovatebot into a GitHub repository. So I'm here now on the renovatebot page. So if you browse to this page, we can just scroll down and we can read a little bit about some of the high-level configuration for renovatebot. So because I've already installed it, I have a button here that says configure. If this is your first time using renovatebot, this button will probably say install for you. So just click on this button here. You might have to enter your GitHub password, so I'll just put that in now. And then we come onto this page. If we scroll down again to the bottom, we can see here where it's asking us to select which repository we want to install against. So for me, I'm going to install it against this Rest Assured Fundamentals repository. And this is a repository that I keep just for teaching one of my other courses. So it's quite a basic repository. It has a bit of Java code and it's built with Maven, etc. So there should be a few dependencies in here for us to update. So just go ahead and click save. And that should be it. That should be renovatebot installed on our repository. What we can do now is we can actually check the renovatebot dashboard. So if we browse to the dashboard at this location here, and here we can see all of the repositories that we've added renovatebot to. So we can see the Rest Assured Fundamentals one has been added here initially. And these are some of the other repositories that I've added previously as well. So what happens is once you install the renovatebot app as we just did, it will raise a pull request in that repository that will contain the initial configuration. So let's have a look at that now. So I'm here in the repository. If I go to pull requests, I can see we've got this pull request here for configure renovate. And if I click on the files changed, you can see here, this is the initial configuration that it's going to add. So it's not going to add in too much. It's just adding in the schema and a simple extends off of the base. So at this point, if we jump over to the renovatebot documentation, we can see some of the different configuration options. And we can see that there's probably hundreds of different settings that we could change here and configure here. So it does give us a huge amount of flexibility. It is worth noting that Renovate does pretty much work straight out of the box, but you've got tons of configuration here that you can choose as well. So to keep things simple for this tutorial, we're just going to add 3 different additional configurations. So we're going to add a PR header, and what this will do is it will just add a default header to all of our pull requests. We're going to add some labels as well. So these are the labels that show up in the pull request as it gets raised. And we'll also add default assignees as well. And what this will do is it will assign the pull request to certain GitHub users. So I'm back here now on my pull request looking at the renovate JSON, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to edit this file, and I'm just going to replace the initial configuration. I'm just going to replace it with this like so. So let's take a look at what we've added. So the first thing at the top is that we've added a PR header. So this is just going to put a header at the top of each pull request that's going to say James test headers. We've also added a default assignee as well. So I've just added in my GitHub username here. So this means that all of the pull requests that get raised at the moment are going to get assigned to me. I've also added a default label as well. So I've added a label of dependencies -test label. So that will be assigned to every pull request that gets raised. And if you look just below that, I've assigned some package rules as well. So what these package rules will do is that they'll just target pull requests based on a pattern that we supply. So for example, I've put one here for Docker. So if it detects Docker in the pull request, it will put a label Docker test label. So that would overwrite the dependencies test label. I've also added one for Maven here as well, and then that would add the Maven test label. Okay, let's commit those changes. So I'm just going to commit them directly to that branch. If we go back to our pull request now, we're ready to merge this branch in. So I'll just hit review changes and approve. Finally, I just need to click merge pull request and confirm merge. And that's it. That's renovatebot installed and configured. So if we look a bit more at the conversation in the pull request that we just merged, it says it's detected these package, this pom.xml, which is our Maven file, and it's showing us what we can expect as well. We can expect these dependencies to be updated once we merge in Renovate. It's also saying that pull requests will be limited to a maximum of 2 hours as well, just to not overflood our system. Again, though, you can configure this to whatever you want. So if we go back to our pull request now, we can see that a couple of different pull requests have been raised. So let's have a look at this top one here. And what this one is going to do, it's just going to update our JSON schema validator. So it's going to update it from version 5.2 to 5.3. And it gives us some more information as well. So the age of the new package version, the percentage of the adoption, and a bit of confidence on how well it's been tested, etc. as well. If we look here as well, we can also see that our header's been added to the top of our pull requests. It's given us this label as well that we specified, so it's gone to the default dependencies test label. And we can also see that the pull request has been automatically assigned to my user as well. So if I look in the files change, we can just see in the pom.xml that it's updated the version automatically for us. Okay, this looks good. I'm going to go ahead and merge this. So I'll just approve the pull request and then click merge the pull request. I'll delete the branch as well, just to be nice and tidy. And there we are, the branch has been merged in. Now, another cool feature of renovatebot is the dependency dashboard. So what this does is it lets you manage and monitor your Renovate activity. Now, it actually works by adding a GitHub issue into your GitHub repository. So you need to make sure that you have issues turned on first. It is actually a feature of GitHub to have those turned on. So to make sure that we have it turned on, we can just go to settings, make sure that we're on the general tab, just scroll down and make sure issues is ticked here like so. So now if I go over to the Issues tab, I can see I've got my dependency dashboard here. And what this does is it gives us a bit more information on how Renovate's set up. So it shows us all of the current open pull requests, and it also shows the detected dependencies as well. So if you look in Maven and in the POB, you see it's detected dependencies for JUnit, Rest Assured, Jackson data bind, JSON scheme validator as well. So again, this just gives us a little bit more information on how renovatebot's been set up in our repository. So before I merge this Jackson data bind PR, what I might try and do is see if I can change the configuration so that it changes the label if it detects a Jackson vulnerability. So to do that, I'm going to go over to my main code base. I'm going to open the renovate.json. This is the configuration file. I'm just going to edit this directly. So I'll click on the pencil here. And what I'll do is I'll change this Docker. I'll change the Docker to Jackson. And then let's just change the label to Jackson test label. Just going to commit those changes directly to the main branch. Okay, so those changes have been committed and we're now checking for the pattern of Jackson, and it should update it with a Jackson test label. So if I go over to my pull request, I've still got the old one here because it's still looking at the previous pull request. So I'm going to go back over to the dependency dashboard. And then by checking this box here, what should happen is that renovatebot should run again on the repository. So you see after a few seconds that unticked again as well. So now renovatebot should be running again. So it's still got the same label as before. It's still the same pull request. So I'm just going to actually just close this one. If I hit close pull request, I'm just going to delete the branch here as well. Okay, so now we've actually got no pull requests. I'll go back to the dependency dashboard again. I'll tick the box once more to ask renovatebot to run through again. And I can see a message here saying that this update here is blocked by an existing closed PR and will not be recreated unless you click a checkbox below. Okay, so let's click this checkbox. And after a few seconds, the checkbox disappears. If I go back to pull requests, I can see this time the new pull request has been raised. And this time we have a label that says Jackson test label. So our configuration is working. That's really cool. Let me check this pull request. So this is just going to update the version to 2.14.2. It's only 4 days old and you've got 10% adoption. I'm going to go over to files checked. We can just see here it's just updating the version. So I'm just going to approve those changes and merge the pull request. If I check out the dependency dashboard again, I can see that the next dependency that it's going to ask me to update is for rest assured 5.3.0, but at the moment it's not raised that pull request because of the rate limit. So because we've already merged 2 PRs, it's going to wait an hour before it raises another one. But if I just click on this checkbox now, it should just force their creation now. So a few seconds later, the checkbox clears. If I go over to pull requests, I've now got a dependency update for rest assured 5.3.0. And again, I can see that this is 76 days old and it's got high confidence, 100% of the tests are passing. That looks good. I'm going to go ahead and update that one as well, or approve that one as well, I should say. I'm going to approve that pull request and merge that in like so. If I go back to the dependency dashboard once more, we can see now that we've got no more detected dependencies that need updating. So everything in our repository is now fully up to date. So in this video, we've seen how easy it is to add renovatebot to your GitHub repository and get some automated vulnerability patching in place. Now, I'd highly recommend to-do lists. Automated management of vulnerabilities in this way is so useful. Keeping track of vulnerabilities is a really cumbersome process, especially if you've got a lot of projects that you're looking after. And this was really easy to add as well. Like renovatebot works fantastically just straight out of the box. The little bit of configuration that we did in this video was just to kind of show some of the options that are available. None of it was really necessary. I could have left all of that out and I still would have had renovatebot up and running and working in a really satisfactory way. If you do need to do more configuration, as you've seen, there are tons of different options available to you. There's literally everything that you can configure. You can even configure it to ignore certain packages if you like, if you don't want something to be updated, or if you want anything else to be changed, there should be an option for it in the configuration. You can also create and host renovatebot presets, and what these allow you to do is to just create a preset of renovatebot configuration and then pull that configuration into lots of different repositories. So you're just managing the configuration there all in one place, which is really powerful. So if you want to learn more about renovatebot, I'd highly recommend that you explore their documentation, and their community on GitHub is really active and supportive as well. I'll leave some links below in the description as usual if you want to go and explore further. As always, if you have any questions, just let me know below. But otherwise, I'll see you in the next one.